It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
And welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Breakfast, talking your property news 7 days a week into a Friday. Yeah, the weekend just about here, Friday, December the 20th. Just 5 more sleeps until the biggest commercial day of the year arrives. All that stress of what to buy, who to invite, what to cook, it's all going to be over soon enough. And talking of get-togethers, what about these workplace Christmas parties that have been happening for the last couple of weeks? Have you had yours? Well, I guess you have, or maybe it is on today. In many ways, these Christmas functions are more of a social experiment. I think the best strategy is just to sit back, sip on your drink, observe the party chaos that often unfolds. And if it's a real estate party, buckle up, because anything literally can happen on the day. Now, good news for buyers looking to break into the property market on a $500,000 budget while staying close to a capital city's CBD. New analysis is telling us that there are 39 suburbs within 5 Ks of major city centres where homes are priced below $500,000. That is according to the latest Domain house price report. And we are going to take you off to Adelaide in just a moment, that has one of those suburbs on that 39 suburb list. But first off, we've got a couple of people from another location entirely who are saying, forget the 500k spend 435,000k for a brand new apartment in Dubai. And good morning to you, Brian. You say that 435k is equating to 1 million dirhams. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Exactly, Craig. Good morning. It's really a pleasure to be here. So as you said, 435,000 Australian dollars equates to 1 million dirhams. Now, for 1 million dirhams in the market at the moment, currently, you could buy a brand new apartment, furnished or unfurnished. This would be in locations that would be really close to your main focal points of Dubai. For example, you could get somewhere for 15 minutes from downtown Dubai, fully furnished or unfurnished, brand new, as I spoke about, with a pool in your building, with a gym and amazing facilities nearby.
435 grand. Okay, what about you, Adesh? It's that time of the year that people have decided to move to Dubai. Lots of Aussies moving there. Better weather, it can be argued.
Absolutely. It is super pleasant right now. It almost feels like there's going to be some drizzling over the course of the coming days. Most people love to be on the beach, just enjoying the time and getting in all that sun.
And Brian, a big year for Aussies, as I said, moving over, but the Americans, now they have been spiking with their numbers moving into Dubai. Just a quick calculation with the American USD, 272,000 American dollars will get you that $1 million property that you're talking about.
Yeah, over the past few months, we've seen a large influx in American investors and American travelers. Yes, there has always been a certain cohort of American investors here, but over the last few months, as things have strengthened with the relationships between the US and the UAE, we're seeing a lot more enter into the market, and it could be really interesting over the next few months and over the next few years if they choose Dubai as an attractive opportunity for investment, an attractive opportunity to move and work and live.
All right. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you, Adesh, over there in Dubai, joining us this morning. And as I say, coming up in just a moment, we are off to Adelaide to check in on those suburbs under 500 grand.
The Real Estate Podcast wishes you and your family a fantastic Christmas break and a happy new year ahead. We help to break down real estate every every day to help you better understand the Australian property market.
And right now it is time for another 30-second property tip. We are going to Rob Dorey there on the Gold Coast. And good morning, Rob. What have you got for us this morning?
Yeah, morning, Craig. Look, conducting so many auctions obviously meet many buyers who are a little scared, and quite often it's the very first time that they're bidding at auction, and they can be given lots of advice from maybe people that don't necessarily give the best advice. So, look, today I'd like to give some advice around bidding at auction, and quite simply, the best advice I can give you is if you want to buy a property at auction, then act with confidence. Know what number you'd like to pay for the property. Get to that number before anyone else. As an auctioneer, we don't expect you to pay any more than you can afford, but don't sit back and do nothing. You don't scare your competitors by sitting on your hands and doing nothing. 68% of the time, opening bidder wins at auction. It's to do with confidence. And secondly, when someone else bids, make sure you bid really quickly. The more you do that, they'll think you've got more money than them, and eventually they may just give up because of it. So get in, bid strong, bid high, best chance to win at auction.
Yeah, be confident like a auctioneer, perhaps.
That's right. And you don't have to be confident as long as you look confident.
That's right. Fake it until you make it, or in this case, fake it until you buy the property. Good on you, Rob.
Cheers, Craig. I've been doing that for 30 years, by the way.
You can join the conversation every week on the Real Estate Podcast.
And it is a Real Estate Friday, the 20th day of December. And as we say, pretty good news for buyers looking to break into the property market on this 500k budget. And one of these locations, you've got a buy-in at around 400k. So let's catch up with Adam Keane. He's a director from Ray White there in Adelaide. And good morning to you, Adam. Welcome to the Real Estate Breakfast. Good to have you on.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
So, yeah, it's good news for first-time buyers. What's happening in that market, in that space where you are? We'll talk about that location in just a moment, but it's a very busy time in any calendar year for people trying to get onto the property ladder. This report obviously throws up a few locations for people.
Absolutely. Most certainly does, yeah. We're certainly seeing a real influx of buyers, investors, first home buyers primarily, sort of looking to start their property journey, and now starting to see some real value in our core location anyway in Plympton.
I guess it's a little bit of a frustration process too for many of these first home buyers with the investors. They see that price point. If the numbers work and the ROI looks really, really good, boom, they'll just buy multiples of these. And you're probably working with some of those investors in that exact vein.
We've got them ringing daily looking for opportunities, asking us to send through anything we have. Everyone loves an off-market listing. So the minute you've got it on the books, there's certainly a lineup of people looking to get into these things.
Now, we mentioned 400k in one of your suburbs. Now, it's called Plympton. It's grown in popularity with first home buyers. So tell us a little bit for those listening, particularly first home buyers that might be outside of SA and Adelaide in particular. Tell us a little bit about where that is in terms of the CBD of Adelaide.
So if you're not familiar with Adelaide, Plympton sort of falls halfway between the CBD and Glenelg Beach. Most people seem to know Glenelg when you talk about Adelaide. Anzac Highway is the main thoroughfare, the main strip that runs from the city to Glenelg, and Plympton literally falls smack bang in the middle of that. So you're 10 minutes one way to the city and 10 minutes the other way to the beach.
And what sort of a year have you had there, Adam? Have you had a good 2024 year?
We've had a good couple of years, to be perfectly honest. It's getting stock's probably been the challenging part, getting listings to sell. But once we've got them, they seem to be selling quite strongly, and nothing sort of surprises me anymore with our real estate market. It's anything can happen at any given time.
And 2025, of course, fast approaching. What are you sort of looking for? What are you hoping that sort of unfolds, particularly in Q1 of next year?
Yeah, well, my team have got quite a lot of listings ready to come to market, sort of second week, third week of January. And that's just my team. I know across our two offices, we've got plenty of listings coming on, and I think most of our competitors will be in the same boat. So it'll be interesting to see, obviously, the buyer uptake, how quickly they respond. It definitely feels like the last couple of weeks it's sort of started to slow down a little bit leading into that Christmas break. Yeah, be very keen to see how the market goes with all these new listings coming on in the new year.
All right, well, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of a insight into Plympton there in SA, and all the best with Christmas coming, the new year as well. Go well, have yourself a fantastic Christmas and a new year. And is there anybody that you would like to give a bit of a shout out to just before we go?
No, just a shout out to all the listeners. I appreciate you having me on and the opportunity to have a quick chat.
Every morning from 6 a.m. across Australia, we deliver you the latest property news, commentary and predictions from Perth to Cairns and from Melbourne to Brisbane, 7 days a week, only on the Real Estate Podcast.
I think Victoria next year is also going to benefit from a general lack of good options for investors around the country, as most markets that people would typically invest in are approaching or are already at the pointy end of their upward swing.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting just to see how that all unfolds with the investor market with what you're talking about. I think what we should do is probably have a look at the 2025 year for the Perth property market next year and look ahead to what might unfold.
My prediction for next year is growth on the median. It'll continue to moderate, and I think it will fall somewhere between 7 and 10% next year. And I think a lot of the growth and the outperformance is going to be in the middle and upper pricing sectors. But the new dwelling stock that we're seeing all the approvals for now is unlikely to impact the overall stock levels much until 2026, given how long it takes to get something out of the ground and completed.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.